Man, good people of the world, good people of the world, good people of the world. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, man? It's a beautiful day out here, man. It's always a blessing, man, just to be able to share with y'all and be able to redirect some of these wayward youth, redirect somebody, man, from going to prison, from making bad choices. So, you know, once again, welcome to Rev Mio TV. And I'm gonna try to keep it kind of brief, man. I'm gonna tell y'all a story today, man. The man told me no better joy than a fat butt boy. Oh, you heard it right. The man told me no better joy than a fat butt boy. Man, look at here, man. First, I want to give a shout out, man, to my partner with Jump Forward Incorporated. He's the founder, George Oliver. I'm the co-founder. Shout out to G.O., man. Listen, man, about 1996, around 1996, I got transferred from Johnson State Prison to Bullock County State Prison, right? Well, man, Johnson was closing down where I was leaving from. Johnson State Prison was closing down, so they was shipping people left and right to different prisons all across the state of Georgia, right? So at the time, I'm like in my early 20s, man. I might have been 23, something like that, right? So, man, we pull up to this prison, Bullock County State Prison, way down in South Georgia, right? Man, when I tell you that man, they still had kind of I can't speak on how it is now. You know what I'm saying? We talking about probably 30 years ago now. But back then, oh man, them people down there, man, the white people, the guards, well, they had a real, like a slave master mentality. They talk to you, call you boy, and all this old kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have to share some of that stuff too, man, because I was getting in trouble down there, man. Well, nobody just calling me boy and, you know, hey boy, get this, hey boy, pick that up. No, we wasn't going for that right there, right? So anyway, man, we pull up to this prison. And it's an old prison. It's a small prison. It's small. It only held like maybe 150, 175 inmates. It was a small prison, right? But see, you got to understand that in Georgia, see, these county prisons, they use that workforce to get their county work done. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that modern day slavery stuff, what people be saying, oh, it's for real, man. They use real prisoners to get free work done. You understand what I'm saying? So look, man, so we pull up to this prison, Mayberry. I'm talking about, it looked like something out of the doggone turn of the century. It looked like this prison was built in 1900, right? So we pull up. It's probably about, I don't know, maybe about 3 bus loads of us, something like that. And we pull up and, you know what I'm saying, you know, they start giving you rules and regulations and this, that, and the other. You know, they start taking your chains off, you know, could you be chained, you know, for the ride and all that stuff, man. And so upon getting there and starting to enter the building and stuff, we realized it ain't no other inmates in the prison. There's no other inmates here. Listen, man, there's no other inmates in this prison. Okay, something had happened and they literally shipped all of the inmates out. Everybody, they shipped all the inmates out. It was not even one single inmate there. It was not one single inmate there, period, when we got there, right? So they emptied this prison out. Now here we come, you know, 2-3 days later, and they fill it back up with us all in one day, right? So when you're going through the intake process, they start asking you questions. You know, they ask you about medical, they ask you about you know, different stuff. They look in your file, they check mental health, they check education level and all kind of different stuff, man. Gang activity, stuff like that. And they check occupation. And so they'll ask you, like, what kind of work do you do? What kind of skills do you have? And so when it came to me, I said, hey man, I cut hair. I'm a barber, right? So they was like, okay, we'll assign you to the barbershop. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. That means I'm assigned to the barbershop. Barbershop job in prison is usually a gravy job. It's usually a good job. You know, you get perks, man. People pay you for haircuts. You know, you can make some money in prison cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? And that meant that I wouldn't have to go out there on them ditch digging details, those bush cutting details where you with them swing blades and them bush axes out there sweating in the hot sun. So I'll be in the AC, you know, kick back, eating good food, stuff like that. Okay, cool. So the barber, it was only one chair in this barbershop. Remember I told you this is a small prison. It's only like 150, 175 inmates, right? So the one barber, which was me, had to reside in the what they call the kitchen dorm, right? So the kitchen dorm, it was a small dorm. It was only like maybe a dozen inmates in there. It's only like about a dozen, man, inmates in there, right? You had a few cooks, you know, for first shift, second shift, and whatever, dishwasher for first shift, second shift, and then you have, you know, a baker or maybe two bakers or something like that for first shift, second shift. And the total, it was only like 12 of us in this whole little dormitory, and it wasn't no big old dorm neither, right? So okay, cool. I didn't know the dudes that I came there with. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew some of them dudes from seeing them around the compound from the prison that we left. I knew some of them by face. I don't even remember if I knew any of them by name, but I knew some of them by face. You know, you see each other in passing, or you see somebody on the basketball court, stuff like that. You know, it's like, you know, what's up, you keep it moving. One dude I used to see quite often was a dude named Bass. Bass was a cool dude. He was from Atlanta too. Bass was from Decatur, east side of Atlanta, right? Me, I'm from Marietta, northwest side of Atlanta. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying, I'm from Marietta, you know what I'm saying? He from Decatur, but we from Atlanta. You understand what I'm saying? So me and Bass started, you know, talking a lot. Bass had a manslaughter charge. He had a manslaughter charge. He had been locked up something about 8-9 years, something like that. And then also in the dorm, there was a dude from Miami. He was about my age. He was kind of a younger dude too. It was another dude from Waycross, Georgia. It was another dude from I think he was from Orlando. It was a couple of other dudes from some other places in Georgia, like Savannah. And then it was this other dude. So after I'm there for, you know, like a few days and stuff like that, the dorm is so small, I could sit on my bed and have a conversation with everybody in the dorm without even raising my voice. You know what I'm saying? So the bed across from me, on one side, it was a homosexual dude. He went by Peaches, right? So he went by Peaches, you know what I'm saying? He carried, you know, he walked around with the tight breeches on, and, you know, he was openly homosexual. He was openly gay. Okay, no big deal. That's his business, right? So he heard me and Bass talking one day, and Bass said something about Marietta, this, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, so we talking about where I'm from, Marietta. So Bass, so Peaches interrupted and said, hey, you from Marietta? I said, yeah, I'm from Marietta. So he was like, you know, such and such, to this person or that person. I'm like, nah, I don't know who you talking about, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Then Then he was like, well, yeah, I used to be in Marietta and, you know, such a part. Well, he was naming parts where I really wasn't frequenting, you know what I'm saying? So, nah, I didn't know none of his people or nothing like that. So then he said he used to live in Canton. Well, Canton, Georgia is about 30 minutes above Marietta. It's approximately about an hour, maybe 45 minutes above Atlanta, right? Or something like that. So he said he used to live in Canton. So I said, you live in Canton? I said, you might know my people up there. So my brother was married to a female that was from Canton. That's my sister. Shout out to my sister, man, Charlotte, man. Love you, girl. So look, so my brother was married to her. Well, she got brothers and sisters. And so the dude was like, oh yeah, I know them. Oh yeah, I know her and I know him. I know, you know what I'm saying? Then he told me, he told me that he had a crush on some dude that I knew. I ain't gonna say the dude name. And the dude didn't even know that he had a crush on him. And if he would have knew that he had a crush on him, you know what I'm saying, he probably would have did something to Peaches. So Peaches then tells me, well, on the street, I just act like a normal guy. That's what he said. Peaches said, on the streets, I just act like a normal guy. I don't act like a homosexual or sissy or whatever. I don't act like that on the street. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, you know, you just switch the whole game, you know. But people do that though. It's some dudes who on the street, they might be on the down low or whatever, but they not openly gay. They come to prison, oh, and they just giving it up. They walking around switching, they just in la la land. You know what I mean? They walk around trying to act like a female. That was Peaches. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, listen. Now, as time went on, like a few days, few weeks, maybe something like that, well, I started noticing that dude from Miami started spending a lot of time sitting on Peaches' bed talking to Peaches, right? So, you know, hey man, that's their business. In prison, you're gonna see stuff, you see it, but you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Stay out of people's business, right? Okay, but now you kind of seeing it go on more and more. And then you seeing, oh, okay, yeah, they messing around for real. You know, now they hugged up. You know, now they, you know what I'm saying, they openly, like, they flirting and grabbing on each other and this, that, and the other. Okay. But what they used to do was they'll wait until people, like, go out to work, or some people, you know, wait till the dorm is basically empty. Wait till people go out to the recreation yard, stuff like that. And they'll stay in the dorm, you know what I'm saying, and be handling their business. They'll be handling their business. Or they might, you know, sneak up in the shower or something like that, man. This is an open dorm setting. It's an open dorm. So they might sneak up in the shower or something like that. Late night, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning when everybody's asleep. Stuff like that. So up until this point, I had not seen them engaged in no sexual activity, but you knew it was going on. You know, it go on like that, right? So, man, quick word real quick, 30-second word real quick for the people. So, the book of Romans, the first chapter, Romans first chapter, starting around about verse number, maybe verse 20, right around there, through verse 32. God said that he would give them over into a reprobate mind. So often you hear people say, man, hey man, God love me, you know, he loved me just how I am, or, you know, or nobody can judge me, you know, stuff like that. God do love you. He love me. But if I just make it up in my mind, just say, man, look, I'm just gonna be a drug dealer. I'm just gonna keep on robbing. I'm just gonna keep on stealing. I'm just gonna be a homosexual. That's just what I am, and that's just what I'm gonna do. Then God's word tells us otherwise. So if I make it up in my mind, just say, man, shoot, I'm just gonna sell dope, and that's just what I'm gonna do. God said, okay, I give you over to a reprobate mind. If the homosexuals say, well, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do this, and this is what I'm gonna do. God will give you over to a reprobate mind. So I just wanted to give you that word real quick, man. Now back to the content. So look, So Miami and Peaches messing around, right? So then I started noticing the dude from Waycross. The dude from Waycross, Georgia, he started sneaking this other homosexual into the dorm. The other homosexual was in another dorm, but he started sneaking him into our dorm. So he taking him back there and he knocking him off, whatever, they handling their business back there, right? Okay. Then I come in the dorm one day. I don't remember where I was coming from, if I was coming from the barbershop or if I was coming from the rec yard or wherever I was coming from. They wasn't expecting me to come back up in that dorm, I know that. So when I came in the dorm, boom. And as I'm coming in the dorm, the shower, you had a shower curtain. It wasn't a door on at this place. It was a shower curtain, right? So when I come in the door, bam, I see coming out the shower, one of the bakers. He used to bake the cakes and the cookies and the pies and stuff like that in the kitchen. Short dude, I forget where he was from. I think he was from South Georgia somewhere. But so I see the baker coming up out the shower, and when he see me, boom, boy, his eyes did this. And coming out right behind him, holding on to him, is the same homosexual dude that the dude from Waycross been messing with. Now the baker dude, he messing with him too. They coming out the shower together. So he know he caught. He caught good. So look. So when he see me, he froze like this, and he say, man, I was just getting some head. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And the dude behind him like this, like he laughing. You know what I'm saying? He feel like, yeah, I got another one. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. Yeah. So he caught. So I just do like this. I say, hey, man, your business is your business, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't none of my business. Like that, right? So he was like, man, don't say nothing to nobody, man. I said, man, like I said, your business is your business. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So then later on that day, man, the dude bring me like a whole bag of cookies, because he don't want me to tell. You know what I'm saying? He don't want me to say nothing to nobody. He don't want nobody to know that he been in there doing the whoop with this booty boy, right? So he bring me a whole bag of cookies, right? And first I said, man, I don't want them cookies, man. I said, man, you good, man. I ain't finna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I like, man, I don't even want the cookies, man. And so he kept asking me, man, go on, take the cookies. I said, man, I don't want the cookies, man. Then I thought about it for a minute before he left back out the dorm. I said, man, go on, give me the cookies, man. I said, go on, give me the cookies. He was like, all right, man, you know what I'm saying? So then he started like bringing me like cookies and stuff like that, man, to keep me quiet. He like, man, what you want out the kitchen today, man? What you want? So he'll bring me like extra stuff out the kitchen. I like, man, you good, man. You ain't got to keep bringing me stuff, doc. So then one night, man, look at here, man. One night, man, check it out. I'm asleep, man. I'm asleep in my bed, right? So these bunks, they lined up beside each other. You know what I'm saying? The bunks are like this. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, too, I got on my work clothes. So these bunks are lined up beside each other like this. You know what I'm saying? Got bunks on different sides. So I'm asleep one night. Man, the next thing I know, man, I just started hearing like, you know how a bed squeaking, squealing, making noise? That's what I'm hearing, man. You know what I'm saying? Loud, right? Now, some prison beds just be straight steel, and it's a slab of steel. It's just a hard thing. You put a little mattress on, that's what you lay on. Well, other prison beds, they steel too, but in the middle, they might have springs on them. So these beds right here had springs on them, right? So, man, they over there handling their business, man, in the bed right beside me. So now look, but they got a tent up. You could take 2 sheets and you could tie the sheet to the top bunk on both sides and let it hang down, and the bottom bunk is covered up, right? So they on the bottom bunk right next to me. Now I can't see behind the sheet, but they rocking the bed. back and forth, squeak, 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 squeak. So the bed just squeaking, squeaking, squeak, 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 squeak. Now the dude, I know it's Peach's, know what I'm saying, foot, because the dude from Miami, he dark skinned. Peach's was light skinned. Peach's foot is hanging out from, know what I'm saying, like half the leg or whatever is hanging out from behind the little tent, from behind the sheet. You know what I'm saying? So dude got him basically, you know what I'm saying, like this, and he going to work. They going to work over there, right? So I'm like this, man. I'm like, you know, and I noticed that my bunkmate was from Florida. He was from Orlando, right? So I noticed that he was looking down at me from up top. He was looking down at me. So I looked up there. Then he was laughing, you know, like kind of snickering a little bit. And he was like, man, what's wrong? He was like, what's wrong, young blood? He was older than me, right? So I was like, man, that's pitiful, man. I said, man, that's pitiful, man. You know, like that, right? So I'm talking loud enough to where he could hear me. They might have heard me too, but I wasn't trying to talk so they could hear me next to me. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to talk to where my bunkmate could hear me. So he was like, shoot, what's wrong with it? You know, like that, right? So, you know, I'm like this. I said, shoot, what you mean, what's wrong with it? He was like, hey, man, you know, they just adjusting to their environment or something, you know? So I messed around. At that time, my filter on my mouth was a whole lot more loose, right? So the first thing that came up was, dang, you too? I said, golly, man. I said, man, you too? So that offended him, right? So he was like, what you mean, man? So I said, man, shoot. You know, I said, hey, man, if that what you do, it's your thing. He was like, hey, young blood, man, hey, man, I've been locked up for X amount of years. I think he said like 8 years or something like that. He's like, man, I've been locked up for 8 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'm just a product of my environment right now, man. I'm just adjusting to my environment. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I was like, man, hey, man, do what you do, dog. You know, do you. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't none of my thing. Hey, man, do you. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm realizing, I'm like, man, out of this small little dormitory, and like I said, ain't about a dozen of us. You got Miami, he messing around. Peaches, messing around. The dude from Waycross messing around. The dude from Orlando messing around. Shawty the baker messing around. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the other folks was messing. Bass sure enough wasn't with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think none of the other people that I remember, you know what I'm saying, was with it. But dang, man, that's like a 50% ratio. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so the next day, my cellmate, our bunkmate, the dude from Orlando, he like, hey, young blood, hey, man, you know, hey, I ain't mean to come off on you, you know, last night the wrong way or whatever, man, but, you know, I was just saying that, you know, people adapt to their environment, man. That don't mean they gay. I said, man, listen, man, if a man mess with a man, then he gay, period. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, nah, I don't see it that way, man. He like, I don't mess with men on the street. You know what I'm saying? I just doing that in here, man, because, you know, hey, man, like I said, I'm just adapting to my environment. I say, so when you get back out there in the free world, you going to be messing with women. So he was like, yeah. I said, man, look, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just don't agree with that. So look, anyway, so I left the conversation alone. Dude was getting agitated at me. You know what I mean? I left the conversation alone. I backed off. You know what I'm saying? I really never even spoke that much to the dude no more, right? So I ended up getting moved out of that dorm. Wasn't too long after that, man. I like I said, I was getting into trouble down there, and all my trouble was really with the police, with the officers. I was getting in trouble down there, man. So anyway, man, the dude said to me in that conversation that next day, the dude looked at me and said, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, it ain't no better joy than a fat butt boy. Man, that man looked at me and said, ain't no better joy than a fat butt boy. Yeah, he said that, right? Now, I had heard the term before, you know, I had heard that said before, but in that moment, like he just when he said it, it just carried so much weight because he really meant that. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, man. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. Young people, stay out of these folks' prisons, stay out of these jailhouses. If you never been to prison, if you never been to jail, do not go. You know what I'm saying? Go to school, go to college, get you some degrees, work on your credit, man. Take your time. Take your time, man. Do the right thing, man. Don't go to these folks' prisons, man. You just be wasting your life, man. You understand what I'm saying? So listen, man, I just wanted to share that with y'all. Share this video with at least 3 people. Share with at least 3 people. Like, subscribe, and comment. Comment. You know what I'm saying? Comment, man. It helps the algorithm. And y'all be blessed, man. Had to share this one with y'all today, man. Rev Mio TV. I'm out.